Clemson doesn't need Christopher Vizzina to be the next Trevor Lawrence.
You are Locked On Clemson, your daily podcast on the Clemson Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Tiger fans? Morgan Thomas here, and welcome to Locked On Clemson, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. And on today's show, we're going to talk about why Christopher Vizzina could be the right quarterback at the right time and why his skill set may fit Chad Morris's offense better than a lot of fans may realize, and why Clemson may not need a superstar at quarterback to get back to the playoffs. So we start with the simple truth that could really define Clemson's season because it's the most important position, or what you could argue is one of the most important positions. So let's get this show underway. Christopher Vizzina just needs to be the right quarterback for this moment in time for Clemson University. For the past several years, Clemson has been searching, begging for offensive stability. Fans have been begging for it. We really have not been begging for more talent. Clemson has had a lot of talent, but stability is what we wanted to see from that talent, from the staff and the coaches and the stars. The kind of stability where the quarterback understands the system and plays within it, protects the football and doesn't play hero ball. The kind that just stays in a steady rhythm and allows everyone else around him to function ultimately the way that it was designed. And this is why I'm getting more and more optimistic about Christopher Vizzina. Not because I believe that he's going to walk in and be a megastar. I really don't believe that. And they could very well go to Baton Rouge and lay an egg. But I don't need Christopher Vizzina to be Deshaun Watson. I don't need Christopher Vizzina to be Trevor Lawrence. And really, after last season, I don't need Christopher Vizzina to be LSU, because I need to see improvement from this team with stability on offense and identity, even in losses. The point is not that Christopher Vizzina needs to be a superstar and walk in immediately and win games. The point is that he needs to be what Clemson needs for the right now. He's been at Clemson for multiple years. He understands Dabo Swinney, what the fans want, what the student body wants out of him, what the culture is around, and what the expectations are watching Cade Klubnik. He's had time to develop physically and mentally, and he needs to be ready. And now he gets his opportunity finally with a coordinator that's probably better than Garrett Riley, whose system probably aligns better with Dabo Swinney, and ultimately can work for Christopher Vizzina. The expectations aren't going to change, and he still has to prove that he can do it. But he has the measurables. He has the prototypical size, 6'4", 210 pounds. He has a relatively strong arm, a quick release, and he understands how to stay in the pocket and read and play within his scheme. Even under Garrett Riley, he had a good game. Now, it was against SMU. I will give him that. I will admit that. But in his limited game action, he's shown the ability to throw with confidence, with velocity. Against that SMU Mustangs football team, 29 of 42 for 317 yards. 3 touchdowns. Big deal here. No interceptions. That stat line means a lot more than you maybe want to give it credit for, because he's not a finished product. That's for sure. But he demonstrates the poise to be able to come in and do that, to be the guy that you needed. And it really wasn't his fault that they lost that game. It demonstrates that he has the confidence to go in and do it, to step in when he's needed, and he can make decisions. And you saw things that you liked more from him than you did Cade Klubnik. It demonstrates to me that if he has the right structure around him and he has the players around him that all they need to do is get the ball in their hands, he can be a distributor. He can be the point. He can distribute the ball effectively to Bentancur, OPH, Moore, Wesco, Burrows, Brown, and all the other guys out there. Davidson, Johnson Jr. He can do that. I believe it. That may be the most important thing for 2026. It was a controversial decision for Dabo Swinney to go with him because everybody else on the outside said, you better put up now and put up the money for a big-time quarterback. And he didn't do it. This could be a huge make-or-break decision for Dabo. He relied on Christopher Vizzina, who has put in the time. Now, only he knows best from practice, but it better work out for him, because the entire season could hang in the balance. For all of Clemson's talent over the past several seasons, the offense still felt like spaghetti on a wall. A lot of negative plays, a lot of stalled drives. A lot of times they forgot about the run, too much pressure on the quarterback. And when there wasn't pressure, the quarterback panicked. Nothing seemed to go right. And a lot of that wasn't Garrett Riley's fault, but a lot of it was. In this moment, we need Christopher Vizzina to just simply be the opposite of Cade Klubnik. As crazy as that sounds, as a QB2 for the New York Jets now, Gotham City football, we are asking the next quarterback in line to not be that guy. We need Christopher Vizzina to be calmer than Cade Klubnik, to be more deliberate than Cade Klubnik, to step back from hero ball and operate within the design of the offense and trust what Chad Morris is telling you to do. And also trust what the defense is showing you. Years now, it feels like Clemson has been stuck in this cycle of inconsistency at offense. While Christopher Vizzina is not the megastar, he's not the big flashy transfer portal name, he still could be the right quarterback at the right time in the right moment for us, for the fan base, and for the university, and for the staff. Go take a step back and go look at On3 and look at the rankings of transfer portal quarterbacks and put a few mil with each of them, because they all cost a lot of money. You know, quarterbacks cost a lot of money in the transfer portal. You know that. Go look at Christopher Vizzina and where he was recruiting-wise. Compare him to where the other guys were in the portal. There actually weren't that many, if any, guys that were recruiting-wise better than him. So in that vein, I can understand it. Not just measurables, but outside rankings have said that Vizzina comparatively was a higher ranked recruit than some of these guys that are in the portal right now. He stuck through. Some of it is loyalty. I get the disgust with the loyalty side of things from the fan base. But Maybe it's more than just paid his dues. Maybe he is that guy that is right for the moment for Clemson this year to get them through a very, very important season for the team and for the staff. Stick with me. Segment 2, why Chad Morris may be the perfect fit for Christopher Vizzina as well, right here on Locked on Clemson. Your outdoor space should feel like you. It's one of those spots that keeps meaning that you keep meaning to fix up, but you never quite get around to it. That's where Wayfair comes in. They make it easy to find pieces that match your vibe that you wanted. You know, I have a outdoor patio set that I love that I got from Wayfair, and I love my downstairs living room rug that I got from Wayfair. And the reason why I love it so much, one, it's one of those ones that you can wash, but two, it brightened up the room, helped make the outdoor space look good, and it was shipped extremely quickly. Verified with thousands of reviews, you can feel confident of what you're getting. Get prepared for patio season for way less. Head over to wayfair.com right now. Shop all the things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. This episode is also brought to you by Indeed. Indeed, workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. Indeed sponsored jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for, skills, experience, location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's the deal. Since I've been talking to you, 27 hires have been made by companies on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching around and more time interviewing those candidates that you want. And listeners of this show get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. So go to Indeed.com/podcast right now to support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. Thank you so much for making Locked on Clemson your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked on the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't already, check out the Everydayer Club. You get Locked on Clemson ad-free, plus members-only Discord access where you can talk to other Clemson fans and to other college football fans every single day. Go to lockedonclemson.supercast.com or tap the link in the show notes to learn more. The return of Chad Morris. Pretty controversial at first. I think everybody's kind of adapting to it a little bit more and easing into it now. Now, there's still a lot of question marks behind it, but it's one of the most important storylines of the offseason because it better not be just a nostalgic return. It better not be just a reunion of friends. It must be a strategic reset for this team. Chad Morris's offense must be able to work and quick, fast, and in a hurry. But the good thing about his offenses is the best offenses didn't really need hero ball. They needed rhythm, tempo, balance with the run game, quick decision-making, and again, getting the ball in the playmaker's hands, running to open up the pass. From there, Chad Morris has been great at layering in different things like play action, pistol formation, RPOs, options, and intermediate throws, behind the line throws, but calculated throws, calculated deep shots. The quarterback's job is not to do everything. And that's why Chad Morris may be the perfect fit for Christopher Vizzina. We don't need Christopher Vizzina to do everything. We want him to be the opposite. And the moment is right for him with Chad Morris to fit into that, to get comfortable with the tempo this offseason, to get comfortable with the rhythm of how Chad calls plays, and to understand his team. The guy that's been on the team this long should be able to understand who his weapons are on this team. If anybody should know who needs the ball in certain situations, it's got to be CV, the Vizzler, Christopher Vizzina. It's his job to read leverage, to put the offense in the right play, to deliver the football accurately and on time in the playmaker's hands. That, to me, sounds like something the Vizzler can do. Tailor-made for him. CV-17. He has the size to see the field. He has the arm strength to be able to attack not just short throws or intermediate throws, but also the deep windows. And I love his temperament. He operates calmly in the practice facility, in media days, and when we saw him, the limited amount of time we saw him within the structure of the offense. This is why I feel like that he will be and should be and must be a cleaner schematic fit than Cade Klubnik. Klubnik was at his best when he was trying to extend plays and create off schedule, but that led to a lot of volatility. Now, for his credit, there were a lot of exciting moments too. There were a lot of throws where you're like, wow, I can't believe that Cade did all of that and then made that throw. It may have been unnecessary, but man, what a throw. But it caused a lot of volatility. I don't want volatility. I want the other V. I want Vizzina. I want him to be more comfortable, staying in the pocket, working through his progressions. It may not be more exciting than last season. It may be less exciting, but less exciting is okay for me. I want less exciting with more wins. How about that? I want more sustainable drives with more wins. I want less exciting, more sustainable. Clemson needs it. I need it. My heart needs it. Your heart needs it. Now, I'll still be watching. I told you that the LSU game's not a guarantee in any way, and it may very well be a loss. But the first thing that I will be watching in the opener against LSU is how organized the offense looks. Did it really click the way we hoped it would? Does Christopher Vizzina get Clemson into the correct plays quickly and in a volatile, hostile environment? Is he able to make reads in an environment that's going to be down his throat, hating him? Is he able to protect the football in a disadvantage playing on the road at night? I don't know if y'all saw that, but it's going to be a night. Can he keep the offense on schedule in the most difficult game of the season, which is game one? Game one's going to be tough. Game one could be a loss. But if you see glimpses of those things, those are things that you can build off of. If the answer to all those questions is ultimately yes or a marginal yes, it doesn't even have to be a definitive yes, but at least a glimpse of a yes, a marginal yes, then fans should be able to realize that the offense can function and continue to be built throughout the season rather than having to rely on Klubnik improvisation. I don't want that anymore. I want to see calm, cool, and collected Christopher Vizzina who can run the play action, who can give the ball to Gideon Davidson and Chris Johnson Jr. and avoid those negative plays. Use his height and weight and size to be able to scan the field and trust what he sees. Trust the game plan that he has. Avoid those negative plays. Avoid those stalls. Be more deliberate with the football. Getting the ball into the playmakers' hands because Clemson has the playmakers. All of that bundled together, if CV-17 can do it, it will be a very, very good fit, a very, very good season, and maybe exactly what Clemson needed, even though he was doubted by many of us. Hang with me. We're going to go to one more break. Segment 3 will come back, everydayer only segment. If you're not an everydayer, well, good night. No, I'm just kidding. Stick with me right here, Locked on Clemson. If you've ever opened your bank account and thought, where did all my money go? Well, you're not alone. Keeping track of subscriptions, spending, and bills gets overwhelming fast. I changed jobs recently from marketing manager to pilot, and a lot of the bills started piling up. And, when you change jobs, a lot of things can get hectic. You don't know where things are coming from, how things are going in and out. And when you also change careers, you got to be really close and tight on your money. And that's where Rocket Money comes in, helping you take control of your finances all in one place. You can set budgets, get alerts, stay on top of those upcoming bills. It categorizes your spending so you don't have to scratch your head about it all night. And you can spend more time with your family than having to worry about a spreadsheet. You can see exactly where your money is going. It just makes everything feel more organized and gives you a clearer picture of your finances from day to day. So Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Get get Rocket Money to help you reach your financial goals faster. Join rocketmoney.com/locked on. That's rocketmoney.com/locked on. Everydayer only segment. The casuals, they're gone. They went to the restroom. They went to concessions. They're not going to come back. They're going to miss halftime. They're going to miss third quarter, right? But not you. Not you. You are an everydayer. You're with me Monday through Friday, every single week. You know that it's not easy doing this show. It is a daily grind, but it is super exciting. And I am motivated because of you, because you keep coming back for me and getting in the comments and supporting the show. I can't tell you how much it means to me. Really, it does. Because if I was just doing this by myself and I didn't have you guys doing two things. One, agreeing with me. I love that when you agree with me. Everybody loves that, right? Pump me up, guys. Pump me up. But two, I actually don't mind when you check me, and say, hey, Morg, I don't like what you said. I don't agree with that. I see it from this perspective because I'm not a tunnel vision fan here. I know that my perspective is not always, the perfect one. I know your perspective is wrong and mine is right. No, I'm just kidding. I know that we can see things from different angles. And actually, I think it makes us more informed fans. That's my goal, is for us to go into the season. I would love for you to get into the stadium and sit next to somebody and say something and be like, hey, I heard about this all season or all off season. I'm prepared for this. I already knew about that. I already knew about this. And the person next to you could say, well, why? Why did you know all that? And you could say, well, I'm the most informed fan because of Locked on Clemson. So I appreciate that. This is the most exciting part of the show because it's the everydayer part. But Christopher Vizzina does not need to carry Clemson. We'd had high hopes for Cade Klubnik. I don't want Christopher Vizzina to win the Heisman. I'm sorry, Chris. I really am. CV, Vizsla, CV17. I'm sorry. I don't need you to win the Heisman. I've actually lost interest in that because Deshaun didn't win it. Trevor didn't win it. Man, even Kelly Bryant didn't win it. At times, you thought maybe he could do it. CJ Spiller didn't win it. So, to me, I don't care. He does not need to be those guys. He does not need to be the Heisman Trophy guy. And honestly, when we take a look back, I kind of wish that we would have told Cade Klubnik the same thing. Cade, looking back, we don't need a 7-6 season. We don't need all these mistakes and frantic hero ball. We just need you to be yourself. Be the best version of yourself. Trust yourself and grow. Learn and grow. And don't regress, right? We put a lot of expectations on Cade Klubnik. And number two, did his best. It wasn't pretty all the time, but he's a good guy. And as I said before, he could be one of those guys you'd want to bring home. You want your daughter to bring home. He's a nice guy. He's going to be a great leader somewhere, somehow. But we really didn't need Cade Klubnik to win the Heisman. We didn't need him to be Trevor Lawrence, although we gave him those expectations, maybe in many ways unfairly. Christopher Vizzina this season, I just want him to be the right quarterback for this team. And if you think about it, the Nick Saban offenses didn't always have a massive, amazing quarterback. You know, they were able to fit within what they wanted to do. You know, a lot of successful offenses can operate without having the amazing quarterback. Offensive lines like Clemson's have potential. You know, there's newbies on this line, but if they can establish the run, then you can let the team be led by Gideon Davidson and Chris Johnson Jr. They have a good backfield that is balanced, in my opinion. Clemson has good receivers in TJ Moore, Bryant Wesco, and the rest. And a lot of new guys like Gordon, Sellers, and Burrows and Salmon. Those guys, they're hungry and they're talented. And they can provide big play, explosive play potential, but you got to get them the ball. The defense gives the offense, I believe, will give the offense manageable game situations. CV just needs to be a point guard. That's the vision for me. Maybe you don't agree, but if Christopher Vizzina protects the ball and makes good decisions and can keep this offense on schedule, then the offense can be extremely effective and potent and dangerous. In fact, it may be the fastest route back to Clemson being a top-seeded team in the playoffs, back to national relevance. I don't expect a one-man show. I don't need Clemson to be a one-man show. I need Clemson to show that they can operate efficiently and effectively, making fewer mistakes, relying on the Chad Morris system to work. And Christopher Vizzina is positioned great for that. As I've told you, the guys together match to me, the moment's right, the coordinator's right. You know, the best way to say it is probably this. CV could be the right quarterback at the right time because he bridges the gap between the old school era, the old Garrett Riley, Cade Klubnik era, and now a new, refreshed Chad Morris era. With that size, with that maturity, with that calm tendency, and the skill set that can play balanced. If that happens, then Clemson may discover something very, very important. That Dabo can win games without a megastar quarterback. That Dabo can get to the playoffs without a megastar quarterback. And that Clemson just needs the right fit at the right time to return to national relevance. Thank you so much for hanging with me today. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen of the day. Tomorrow, I'm going to continue looking into more of Chad Morris and why he's the biggest reason for Clemson's offensive success, or at least the hope of success. Make sure that you subscribe and follow to Locked On Clemson so you get all the latest updates on all the latest episodes. So you can find me over on social media on X at The Morgan T Show. If you never miss an episode, well, the Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On Clemson ad-free plus members-only Discord access and more. Head over to lockedonclemson.supercast to join the club. For those of you on video, we'll go over to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. And on audio, you make your second listen Locked On College Football. And as always, Tiger fans, we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see you at the top of the hill.